Hello everyone, welcome to Maths IEC. This is a reacting mass calculation question. I've seen these kind of questions a lot in GCSE Chemistry papers. So the question is to find the mass of water produced when 144 grams of C5H12, which is pentane, reacts with excess oxygen. So the fact that it is excess oxygen tells that it is complete reaction, so we know the products are carbon dioxide and water. So to start this question, you need to write the balanced chemical equation and then take it from there. So pause the video and give this a try. When you want to check the answer, press play. Now C5H12 plus oxygen gives you carbon dioxide and water. Now let's balance it. We got 5 carbons here, so I'm going to put 5 there. I have 12 hydrogens here on the left hand side. So if I put 6 here, 6 times 2 gives me 12. So I'm okay with carbon, I'm okay with hydrogen. Now let's look at oxygen. So I have 5 times 2, 10 oxygens there. 6 times 1, 6 there. So that is 16 oxygens on the right hand side. So obviously, to get the same number of oxygens on the left hand side, I need to put 8 here. So I know 8 times 2 is 16. So I'm done with balancing now. So here you can see the steps of a question like that. Balance the chemical equation, we just did that. Find the number of moles of the substance with a known mass. Now we know 144 grams of C5H12. Okay, so the number of moles is mass over mR. Now I know the mass here is 144 grams divided by mR of C5H12. So I know I can just go to the periodic table and find carbon is 12, but I got 5 carbons. Add hydrogen is 1, but I got 12 of them. So 12 times 5 is 60. To that 60, I need to add 1 times 12. That gives me 72. So 72 is the mR of C5H12. So what do? I need to divide this one by 72. So I know that gives me 2 moles. Step 3. Find the number of moles of substance you want using the molar ratio. Okay, so what's the molar ratio here? Now the question is to find the mass of water. This is water. Now let's look at the ratio. So here's obviously 1. Now the ratio between C5H12 and water is 1:6. So in other words, 1 mole of C5H12 can make 6 moles of water. So what if you have 2 moles here? So obviously I will get 6 times as many here. So what do? Multiply this one by 6. So that means I will get 12 moles of water. Now find the mass. So number of moles is mass over mR. Number of moles is 12. Mass is what I'm trying to find. mR of water. Now hydrogens, mass number is 1 times 2. This you can get from the periodic table. Oxygen is 16. There's only 1. So we know mR of water is 18, so let's substitute it here. Oh, finding the mass of water is very easy. All I need to do is multiply 12 by 18, and that gives you the mass of water produced in this reaction. So the answer here is 216 grams. Here's a question for you to try. Now this question is very similar to the previous question. It's a different compound, different mass, but same concept. So if you understood the previous question well, you should be able to do this question. Please pause the video and try this question. Here's the answer. C3H8 plus oxygen gives you carbon dioxide and water. Let's do the balancing. 3 carbons, 3 here, 8 hydrogens, 4 here. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 1 is 4. That's 10 oxygens on the right hand side. To get 10, I need to put 5 here because 5 times 2 is 10. So we just did step 1. Step 2, find the number of moles of the substance with a known mass. The known mass here is 220 grams of propane, C3H8. So, number of moles is mass 220 divided by mR of C3H8. Now, carbon is 12 and I got 3 of those. Add hydrogen is 1, but you have 8 here. Let's add them up. 12 times 3 is 36. 36 add 8 gives you 44. Now this is the mR of carbon dioxide. So to find the number of moles, you need to divide 220 by 44, and I can see it's 5. Now, the question is to find the mass of carbon dioxide. Now let's look at the molar ratio. This one here is 1. So I can see the ratio is 1:3. So for every 1 mole of C3H8, we get 3 moles of carbon dioxide. Now, when you have 5 here, obviously, because the ratio is 1:3, I have to multiply this one by 3. So that tells us the number of moles of carbon dioxide is 5 times 3, 15. Now, how do we find the mass? Again, use the formula. Number of moles is equal to mass over mR. Number of moles here is 15. We just worked this out. Mass we don't know. mR of CO2. Carbon is 12 plus oxygen is 16, but I have 2 of those. Now let's do the calculation. 12 add 16 times 2. 32 add 12 gives you 44. So we can substitute 44 here, cross multiplication. So the mass here is 15 times 44. 660 grams is the final answer.